So this land was created. Now what happens? The tectonic plate was one, the land plate was one. Now in this, the earthquakes were going on. This side, water pressure from the all side was pressing this land. When these things were happening at that time, here somewhere the pressure was built up. Due to the pressure of land on land, this pressure the land could not hold, and this whole part was broken into two parts. This land was called as Gondwana land. Gondwana land. When this portion was break up, the water filled over here, and there came a new sea into existence, that was Tethys. That was called as Tethys. This Tethys Sea came into existence. Now these two part, water inside, the pressure was created at this place, from this side. Now due to the sea floor, this whole part was soft. This softened part was pushed again and again, and these plates were created into several parts like this. Several plates were created. This center that I am talking about, where the pressure was created, the first ever mountain was created, that is Aravalli Mountains. So Aravalli mountain ranges are the oldest mountain ranges in the world. Those are located in India. Then created the Tethys Sea. The pressure that was created, this land were departed, they were separated, that land was even separated, and created the continents: Australia, Japan, America, Africa, Russia, Asia, Eurasia, Europe. Such continents, plates, tectonic plates were created. Now due to, for some, this took several years, lakhs of years before this happened. This took several years. At that time, this pressure which was built up on this Tethys ocean, on this sea, on the Tethys Sea, the floor of the Tethys Sea was pushed up, and till today it is being pushed up. And the floor of the Tethys Sea is being pushed up and up. Now also, every year, in 1 year, the floor of the Tethys is pushed up by 3 inches. 3 inches. But what form it has been now? What it has become now? It is Himalayan mountain ranges. So see, how many years it took to become Himalayan mountain ranges? Maybe several lakh years. So the place where it was ocean, that land has been lifted up and turned into Himalayan mountain ranges. Now these Himalayan mountain ranges are actually the ocean floor, and that is why now also, if you are regular listening the news channels, you will find that most of the landslides are taking places in Himalayan mountain ranges. Due to heavy rainfall, the land goes crushing down Why it happens? Because the floor of the oceans are very soft. Without the rocks, there are rocks, few rocks. Afterward, due to the fold mountains, due to the these mountains are of fold types, created folds on folds and folds and folds. So this Himalayan soil is the ocean soil, and so it is very fertile even. It is very fertile even, and that is why this now what we see is Himalayan mountains. Now this way it was separated. I wanted to tell you the story of Himalaya, Great Himalaya, okay, and Aravalli mountain, okay, Aravalli mountain, which are the oldest mountain ranges. See, in this way these mountain ranges are created, Himalayan mountain ranges are created in India. The Gondwana land included India, Australia, South Africa, South America, Antarctica as one single landmass. The conventional current split the crust into a number of pieces, thus leading to drifting the Indo-Australian plate after being separated, and the Gondwana lands towards the north it was pushed. The Gondwana drift resulted in the collision of the plate with the much larger Eurasian plate. Due to this collision, sedimentary rocks which were accumulated in the geosyncline known as Tethys Sea were folded into the form of mountain system of Western Asia and Himalaya. So in this way the Himalayan mountain ranges were created. Now started the story of the earth plate. Then there were earthquakes, volcanoes, okay. These Sahyadri mountain ranges are the results of the volcanoes. Due to the eruption of lava, you see in Sahyadri mountain ranges you find very black stones. So how? They were direct, they are igneous rocks, they are directly created of rocks, lava. You know the igneous rocks, right? You might have, you have studied in 7th and 8th standard already. It is in 1st and 2nd chapter only. So, and the great physical variation geologically, the peninsular plateau constitutes one of the ancient land masses on the earth's surface. It was supposed to be one of the most stable land block. The Himalayas and the northern plains are the most recent landforms from the viewpoint of geology. Now, Himalayan mountain ranges from unstable zone. The whole mountain system Himalaya represent a very youthful topography with high peaks, deep valleys and fast flowing rivers. The northern plains are formed of alluvial soil deposits by the river, those which are flowing from the Himalaya. So this is the story of Himalaya, and the plates, those are separated, and the continent, those are created from the Gondwana land. Okay. Now let us talk about Himalaya. The Himalayas are geologically very young. I said it because every year it is by 3 inches. Why it is young? It is created several lakhs years before. But why it is young then? Because still it is raising in the heights. It is not older, right? Old people, they don't, their body doesn't increase. Himalaya is increasing. There are yet movement, so it is in youthness, like the sun is in the youthness. So young and structurally fold mountain. It is a fold mountain. I told you. It is a fold mountain. These mountain ranges run in the west-east direction from the Indus to Brahmaputra, the river Indus. Now let us come to India. I'll try to draw Okay, upper part only, so that we can see. Okay, upper part only, I can draw it. So let us understand, this is the perfect map of India, though it is not. Okay, so in the upper mountain ranges, the upper part is consist of Himalayan mountain ranges. Okay, these are the Himalayan mountain ranges stretching from the rivers Indus. Indus is the rivers, Indus, Ravi, Satluj, Bias. These rivers are flowing to, few are flowing in the Pakistan afterward. From this portion, the mountain ranges of Himalayan starts and it exceeds in the eastern part of India. The Himalayas represent the loftiest and one of the most rugged mountain barriers of the world. They form an arc which covers a distance about 2,400 kilometer. This is 2,400 kilometer. Their width varies from 400 kilometers in Kashmir. Here it is 400 kilometers. And somewhere it is 150 kilometers of mountains ranges of Himalaya are in India. No doubt, some part of mountain ranges is beyond India also, like here in Tibet, here in China. Okay, there are some parts of mountain ranges there. Here in Nepal, so Sikkim, there the mountain ranges are there. Beyond India, in Nepal, China and Tibet it is extended, but in India it is somewhere 400 kilometers, somewhere it is 150 kilometers in Arunachal Pradesh. Now the attitudinal variation are greater in the eastern half than the western half. Himalaya consists of 3 parallel ranges in its longitude extents. There are 3 parallel ranges, 1, 2 and 3. So like this, there are 3 parallel ranges of the Himalayan mountain ranges. For better you see the map of India, that is given on page number 2.3. The map 2.3, page number 9. It contains, so a number of valleys lie between these ranges. The northernmost range is known as the Great or Inner Himalayas, that is Himadri. The upper mountain ranges are known as Himadri. It is most continuous range consisting of loftiest peaks with an average height of 6,000 meters. It contains all prominent Himalayan peaks. The folds of Great Himalayas are asymmetrical in nature. The core of this part of Himalayas is composed of granite. It is snowbound. A number of glaciers descend from this range. These Himadris are the northern mountain ranges, and these mountain ranges are the most continuous mountain ranges. They are connected to each one other. There are many valleys, even the peaks up to 6,000 kilometer heights of the peaks are there. And it is in a straight line. The mountain ranges, those which are just side by side, there are mountains, range of mountain, those are asymmetrical, just close to each other. And the height is also close to each other. The range lying to the south of the Himadri, okay, the second range of Himadri is called as Himachal, which comes in the Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh. So it is known as Himachal or Lesser Himalaya, small Himalaya. The ranges are mainly composed of highly compressed and Altered rocks, afterward these rocks were these sedimentary rocks, the folded mountain ranges. इट इज़ द फोल्ड माउंटेन रेंजेस. ओके, वो फोल्ड होते होते बना है, पर वो क्या है, पहले ओशन है, ओशन फ्लोर में डिपॉजिट हुआ, हाँ, रिवर्स का वाटर जो लेके आया, दैट मटेरियल इज डिपॉजिटेड. सो कौन से रॉक्स बने, सेडिमेंट्री, एक के ऊपर एक लेयर रखते हुए सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स बने. उसके बाद में वो रॉक्स कट हुए. जब सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स कट होता है तो कौन सा रॉक बनता है, मेटामॉर्फिक रॉक. सो वो मेटामॉर्फिक रॉक्स बने. सो इन द फर्स्ट माउंटेन रेंजेस यू फाइंड द ग्रेनाइट also, which is the form of lava. So then in the second form you find the sedimentary rocks, and the sedimentary rocks altered due to cuts, due to uplifting of the land, and they turned into metamorphic rocks also. So in all three ranges you find different types of rocks. And the highly compressed altered rocks, the altitude varies between 3700 to 4500 meters, and the average width is 50 kilometer, and the average width of the mountain ranges is 50 kilometers. Okay, so while the Pir Panjal range forms the longest and most important range, the Dhauladhar and the Mahabharat ranges are also prominent ones. These ranges consist of famous valleys of Kashmir, the Kangra and Kullu Valley in the Himachal Pradesh. This region is known as its hill station. Now these are the famous places and famous valleys in the second mountain ranges, which are Dhauladhar, then Mahabharata, then Pir Panjal, and Kullu Manali, Kangra Hills. So these are in the second part. Now why these places become famous? See, the northern part of the northern mountain ranges are very high, 6000 meter high. Now 6000 meter high is not good for human settlement, and this 3700 kilometer height is a little bit good for human settlement. So those are cool places. Okay, and people go there, Kullu Manali, Shimla, people, these places are located in these second mountain ranges. So these second mountain ranges become very famous because second mountain ranges has both the options. It has the first option of first mountain ranges, that is Himadri, that the snowfall is observed for some time of the year, right? With that it is good for human settlement, water, forest, these things are available. But in the Himadri till today the human settlement is nearly about 1 to 2% only. It's not possible to live for the whole year in the Himadri mountain ranges, and that is why it becomes. Now then the third mountain ranges are called Shivalik. These they extend over a width of 10 to 50 kilometers and have an altitude varying 900 meters to 1100 meters. These ranges are composed the unconsolidated sedimentary brought down by the river from the main Himalayan ranges. Now in the third mountain ranges, which are less height, 900 meter to 100 meters only, and they are, how they are made up. Now when they were uplifting, the first mountain range was uplifted. Okay, see, the first mountain range was uplifted. So when it was being uplifted, there were rivers. Those rivers started flowing. They made sedimentary rocks. In the second part, the sedimentary rocks were folded due to uplifting, turned into metamorphic rock. Okay, so the rocks in the first mountain ranges are differ than the second mountain ranges, and the third mountain ranges, which were till on the base. The first mountain ranges were coming up, then the second came, then the third came. So third was less in height. So all the sedimentary, the deposition of the rivers till that time was deposited at this place, and this was lifted. So third mountain ranges is a total part of sedimentary rocks. Total part of sedimentary rocks. Okay. Now the longitudinal valley lying between Lesser Himalaya and the Shivalik are known as dunes. Dehradun, Kotli Dune, Patli Dune, are some of the well-known dunes. Now see, in between there are valleys. In the second and third, there are valleys, cities, human settlements located over here. So these places are also good for human settlement, and they are called as dune. So which places became famous for this dune? The Dehradun, Kotli dune, then Patli dune, Kotli and Patli. These are two interconnected places in the history. So they are known as dunes. Dunes means burrows. Dunes means a hollow portion. So this is a hollow portion in between second and the third mountain ranges, and these cities developed in those spaces, and they are well known. Beside the longitudinal division, the longitude like this division, and the latitudinal division. Beside the longitudinal divisions, the Himalayas have been divided on the basis of regions from the west to east. From the west to east, there are regions. Now regions are how? According to places. These divisions have been demarcated by river valleys. Demarcated, separated, made, and democrated. Human settlement was brought due to the rivers. For example, the part of Himalayas lying between Indus and Satluj, river Indus and Satluj, both are going to Pakistan. So in this part, that is known as, has been traditionally known as Punjab Himalaya. So what this part is known as Punjab Himalayas. Then, but it is also known as regionally as Kashmir and Himachal Himalaya, from west to east respectively. The part of Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali river. Now this is Satluj and the river Kali. The Kali river goes to the part of Punjab and then again enters in the Pakistan. The Kali and Tista rivers demarcate the Nepal Himalayas, and the part lying between Tista and Dihang rivers as known as Assam Himalayas. Now here Tista, okay, this Kali river goes and this Kali goes and meets other rivers, while Tista rivers comes and meets, I think, Ganga. Okay, it meets to Ganga. This portion where Nepal is located, just beside it, so it is called as Satluj and Kali river are known as Kumaon Himalayas, and the Kali and Tista rivers demarcate Nepal Himalayas, and the part of lying between Tista and Dihang rivers, that is known as Assam Himalayas. So what Himalayas are there? First part, western part, is Punjab Himalayas, or it is also known as Kashmir or Himachal Pradesh, because Punjab is downside in the state wise. So Kashmir or Himachal Himalayas. Then comes the river Satluj and Kali, that is known as Kumaon river, that is beyond Ladakh. So Kumaon Himalayas. Then Kali to Tista, this Kali river to Tista river, Tista is the tributary of Ganga, that is known as Nepal Himalayas, and Tista to Dihang rivers known as Assam Himalayas. So these are the 5 parts, categories, in which longitude wise Himalaya is first range, second range, third range. Okay, the Himadri, Himachal and Shivalik. Himadri mountain ranges, Himachal mountain ranges, Shivalik mountain ranges. Okay, then Punjab, Kumaon, Nepal and Assam mountain ranges are there. Okay, so in this way, that is latitude wise and longitude wise it is divided. Brahmaputra marks the easternmost boundary of Himalaya beyond Dihang. The Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread Along the eastern boundary of the India, they are known as Purvanchal of the eastern hills and mountains. Now, these mountain ranges which are exceeding in the eastern part of India, they are also called as eastern, okay, eastern Himalaya or Purvanchal mountain ranges. Okay, covered with dense forests, they mostly run as parallel ranges and valleys. Purvanchal comprises Patkal Hills, Naga Hills, Manipur Hills and Mizo Hills. Garo, Khasi, Jaitia, these are the Adivasi caste living in this forest, in which Manipur Hills, Naga Hills and Mizo Hills. Okay, so in the eastern part, in the part of Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, in this part the Purvanchal mountain ranges of Himalaya are extended and they are dense forest, because the height of the Himalaya is very less in the eastern part of in the eastern part of India or in the eastern part of Himalaya. Okay, then comes the second part that we are going to learn, northern plains. Now, after Himalaya, the rivers those are flowing to the southern part, they come suddenly enter in the northern plains. Now, these Himalayan mountain ranges are fold mountain ranges. A typical part of land is lifted. So, what remains? The remaining part remains on a height. It may be lifted for some height, but it does not goes and comprises the Himalaya. So, there comes the plains of northern India. Okay, the northern plains has been formed by the interplay of the three major river system, 1 Indus, 2 Ganga, 3 Brahmaputra. The Indus river in the western part of India, the Ganga comes from eastern part and goes to the southern part of India. Brahmaputra comes from the eastern part, flowing from same Himadri mountain ranges, coming towards the eastern part of our country and then goes to Bengal. And these three rivers have founded the plains of north. It spreads over an area of 7 lakh square kilometer. The northern plains are 7 lakh square kilometers. Note it down. I am going to send you the notes. That also you have to write it. The plains being about 2400 km long and 240 to 320 km broad. So, the plains are 2400 kilometers from the western part to eastern part, 2700 kilometers, 2400 kilometers and then 300 kilometers longitude wise. Okay, so it is a dense populated physiographic division which with a rich soil covered, combined and adequate water supply and favorable climate. It is agriculturally very productive part of India. Why? Because the rivers, three rivers, those which are flowing from the Himalayan mountain ranges, have water throughout the year. In the rainy season they get water from the rain, but in the summer season the snow over there starts melting, and that melting snow turns into water and flows through these three rivers. So, Brahmaputra, Ganga and Indus, Yamuna, all these rivers have water throughout the year. That is why the water availability in this portion, northern plain, is very good. Moreover, why it is fertile? These rivers have formed these plains. Okay, now what it means, see, what I mean to say, the Ganga may be flowing this side, the Ganga may be flowing this side, the Indus may be flowing this side, but when they started depositing the eroded part soil and the Indus went to this side, Ganga turned its route and went to this side. So in this way this area is flooded with the fertile land that has been brought by river Ganga as well as Brahmaputra in this side. This whole portion has been made fertile by these three rivers. Now, they have many distributaries. In the northern plains is broadly divided into three sections. Western part, that is referred to Punjab. Punjab is the part. Western part formed by Indus and its tributaries, Ravi, Satluj, Beas, Chenab. These are the rivers. Those have formed the Punjab part and made the land of Punjab very fertile. Okay, then the larger part of the plain lies in Pakistan. Most of the part goes in the Pakistan also, because these rivers are flowing in nowadays in Pakistan. The Indus and the tributaries, the Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Satluj originate in Himalaya. This section of the plain is dominated by Doabs. This section is dominated by Doabs. Doab is a word. Doab means two abs, means two rivers, waters. Okay, made by two river. Doab, ab means river. So this portion has been made up by two rivers, that is Indus, okay, and Satluj. So these are the two main rivers that has made Punjab part. Okay, that is why Punjab part is called also called as Doab. Doab, most part of Doab and Punjab is in Pakistan, and the state of Punjab of India is the part of Doab. The Ganga plains extend between Ghaggar and Tista river. Now there are Ghaggar river is the tributary of Ganga and Tista is the tributary of Ganga. Where it lies in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, in this section. Okay, so that portion is from where it extends Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Jharkhand, partly in Jharkhand, where Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and some part of Jharkhand. Okay, now Jharkhand is separated by from Bihar only, so it is some part of Jharkhand is also in the made by Ganga river. The northern plains are generally described as flat land with no variation and its relief. Well, it's not true. These vast plains have also have diverse relief features. According to the variation in relief features, the northern plains can be divided into four regions. The rivers, after descending from the mountains, deposit pebbles, narrow belt around 8 to 16 kilometers. So what happens, that does not mean that all the rivers have brought everything fertile over there. So मिट्टी जो होती है ज़्यादा आगे बह जाती है, बहुत अच्छी मिट्टी होती है वो ज़्यादा और आगे बह जाती है, और जो बड़े बड़े पत्थर है, पेबल्स है, स्टोन्स है, वो कहाँ रह जाते हैं, पीछे रहते हैं, वो पीछे बहते हैं. तो कैसे पार्ट बना होगा, यहाँ पे जहाँ पे वेयर द रिवर गोज एंड मीट द ओशन, जस्ट उसको लग के बंगाल के पास है ना, सुंदरबन करके देयर इज एन एरिया विच इज़ क्रिएटेड बाय गंगा. सो दैट इज़ फुल्ली फर्टाइल लैंड. देन उसके बाद में थोड़ा कम फर्टाइल, उसके बाद में थोड़ा कम फर्टाइल, एंड एट द स्टार्टिंग what it will be pebbles and rocks. So pebbles and rocks मिलेंगे. So it can be divided in such a way in four belts. Okay, 8 to 16 kilometer is the belt of pebbles. Okay, and slopes, Shivaliks, in the Shivalik mountain ranges, it is known as Bhabar. In the Shivalik mountain ranges, the Ganga river has many big rocks and pebbles, so that is known as Bhabar. The south of this belt downward, the next belt is with the streams and creating wet, swampy and marshy region, that is called as Terai. Okay, Bhabar, the first part, then it forms Terai. The forests have been cleared to create agricultural land to scatter migrants from Pakistan and participation after Pakistan. Leave it. But most part of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh can be taken. So locate at Dudhwa National Park in this region, where it is in nearby Uttar Pradesh. So the largest part of northern plain is formed of older alluvium. They lie above the flood plains of the river and present terrace like features, and terrace like a plain, very plain surface. Okay, that has been created. This part is known as Bhangar, Bhabar, Terai, then Bhangar. This is the third part, and the last one that has been created is the soil in the last region. What it does, it deposit locally known as Khankar. The newer, younger deposit of the flayed pens are called Khadar. Khankar and Khadar are the last part where it has been created in the at the end of the river. They are renowned almost every year, so are fertile, thus ideal and intensive agriculture. Now what happens, जब river जब plains में आ जाती है पूरी river, Ganga river, so the speed of the Ganga river slows down. It does not have capacity of carrying the soil, then it deposits somewhere, and every year it deposits there. So every year the soil is fertile. Every year it is bringing new soil. So it is being fertile every year. It is being changed, updating every year. Okay. So these are the two features: mountains and plains. Mountains and plains of India. Read it clearly, and read the peninsular plateau, desert and coastal land. These are very short, that I'll explain in the next video. Thank you.